What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and another hero spotlight. Now, everybody's has been asking for it, and here comes the EV2. Now, this is going to come in two forms. Today, we're going to talk about the endgame EV2 build, and this is a ridiculously high DPS build. However, it is really proc-based and depends on a lot of luck, as if you don't get the luck and you don't get the procs, you just don't do the damage. But if you do, oh man, look out, because it is on. Now, first off, let's go ahead and take a run through the Ascension, the gear, and the shards. Now, with Ascension, we're going to follow just the basic hero DPS Ascension guide. Very first thing in the utility category, we always want to max out that hero crit chance first thing before any other points are spent anywhere. Defense we're not going to be focusing on today. And then in the offense category, you're always going to want to go into hero damage first. Once you get hero damage maxed, then you can start playing with the other stuff. However, hero damage is the basis of this build, and you will see why here shortly. Now, as soon as you get your crit chance maxed out in Ascension, the utility category, you want to go ahead and go into hero crit damage. I'm not gonna lie, I always put points into movement speed just because it's such a huge quality of life thing. However, you will want to get your hero crit damage maxed up. As I mentioned a moment ago, this is a hero damage and hero crit build. Let's go ahead and take a peek through the gear. Now, as I mentioned, hero damage, hero crit on every piece. Of course, since it is an endgame build, you're gonna need that hero health as your third. So no ability power, don't even think about it, as this is all based off of that hero damage and hero crit. Now, you've got two weapon choices essentially for this build. You can use either the McManus Projector, which is my personal favorite, or the McDougars. Let me explain the difference to you. Basically, to shorten it all up, the McManus does more AoE damage, as the charged shot, when it goes off, it does have a pierce. McDougars does more single target damage, as when the charged shot goes off, it does not pierce, but it does hit harder. So I personally use the McManus, as it is just a lane clearer. Plus, you gotta love that shot animation. Is it accurate? Nope, it sprays them all over the place, but sometimes the spray and pray is just a lot of fun. Now, back to that weapon. The whole build is based off a charged shot. Your primary attacks have a 15% chance to fire a fully charged secondary attack, which this means at 2 shots per second with 3 rounds, that means 6 times a second, I have a 15% chance for a fully charged secondary attack to go. Now, the secondary attack, if you hold down your left trigger or your right click until it is fully charged up and let it go, that is that. That bad boy hit for 5.7 million that time. Not too shabby for one shot. And we've got a chance of that going off 6 times per second. Now, and if we had a absolutely perfect string of luck and it hit all 6 times, it is an absolute insane amount of damage. As you saw, that 5.7 million crit, that would take us up into the 20-30 million DPS range. Now, on the low side, just the regular damage that this weapon does when the charged shot is not popping is only just over 1 million endgame, so it's not substantial. However, when those procs add up, they just tear it up. You saw we just went from almost 7 million down to 1 million on that little stretch. Kind of hard to see the numbers. Let's see, there's a 4 mil. There's another 4 mil. 3 mil, and then down to 1. It's got its highs and it's got its lows, no doubt about it. The most I've seen with this build in the current state of the game is about 40 million damage with a monk pet. Of course, never fails to have your own little monk pet dancing around there. And if you do, oh my god, the damage is going to be crazy. Now, moving on through the build, the second aspect of this build is it is a crowd control build. We are not only going to wreck them up, but we are going to stun them up. And we're just going to stun everything and then light up the pack. So we've got double stuns. I'm going with, first off, Drenching Strikes, which if you remember from the Apprentice video, Drenching Strikes makes your primary attacks have a 30% chance to drench enemies. So once again, we're down to that 6 times a second. 6 times a second, we have a 30% chance to drench enemies. The odds are looking good. They're going to get drenched. Then, of course, we do have Storm Damage on the weapon to combo together with the Electrocute combo. Now, on that same note, Overwhelm. Your attacks have a straight-up 15% chance to stun enemies for 3 seconds. 6 times a second, we got a 15% chance just for a natural stun. And remember, the charged shot does pierce, which means it's going to be stunning multiples if that 15% procs. Now let's go ahead and move on over to the head. In the helmet, there are actually no required shards. You just want to make sure you have hero damage, hero crit, and hero health. In the chest, there is one required shard. Now, I personally run with Taser Suit, Bulwark, and Power Gambit. Power Gambit is the only required shard. It drops in Chaos 7. Another reason this is an in-game build is because the build is based off a Charge Shot and Power Gambit, and both of those are Chaos 7 shards. So once you get yourself to Chaos 7, you're going to want to take a hard look at this build and stop spraying that Proton Charge quite as often. Even though the Proton Charge is just insanely fun, it's time to move on. Now, in the gloves, a couple of more. The Critical Strike Shard is indeed unnecessary. You want to have your chance to crit way up there. Of course, that drops early in game, so we'll have no problems there. The Big Boy Shard. Now, our Grav Bots themselves, each little baby Grav Bot all scales off of ability power. So in this build, they are essentially useless. However, the Big Boy is going to scale off of hero damage, as we see on the tooltip there. Now, that means our very first bot can hit like a truck. Let's see. 1.9 mil, not too bad for essentially free damage. And that's everything in the area, so if you do spread that out, it's going to hit for that damage to everything right there in the area. Very, very nice. Now, in addition to that, since it is a hero damage build, we want to go with Beacon of the Storm. Now, Beacon of the Storm is storm damage, hence the name. So it also can combo with that Drench from Drenching Strikes for that Electrocute combo. So we've got storm damage on the weapon and some storm damage bouncing around and a little chain lightning from the gloves. And that is going to keep that Electrocute combo proccing. Now, in the boots, it's really optional here. Of course, you're always going to want speed boost. I do put Wave of the Storm on there also, just for something to throw in the slot. And for the third, I personally use Enhanced Decoy. I just like flying around. I mean, you know, call it wrong, whatever. It's very, very enjoyable to fly around, and I just dig it. So I put Enhanced Decoy in those boots. Now, Enhanced Decoy actually drops in the campaign. Beacon of the Storm, of course, drops in Chaos 4, and that Big Boy Shard drops in Chaos 3. So you can acquire these shards as you're moving up, and although the basic hero damage and hero crit does do nice damage, it's over 1,000,000 DPS, it doesn't hit that big damage until you get the charge shot in the mix. Now, this is another build that's dependent on pet abilities, and essentially, in my mind, there's really 3, maybe 4 pet abilities you should use. Now, my personal favorite is the Auto Meow. Auto Meow's awesome. That Cyclone ability is just beast. However, it is a premium pet. Now, although it is just a little cutie, you're going to have to pay for it. So to get an Auto Meow, you come over here to hatch a Gatto Egg, which I don't have, and it's going to give you the option to buy it here with gems. And I think it's the best looking pet in the game, personally. I mean, they did just a fantastic job with it, so I had no problem whatsoever spending some gems on that bad boy. Now, a couple of more suitable replacements. First off, Dragolich. Dragolich is good for anybody. If you get yourself a Drago, you can use that on any DPS hero throughout the game, with the exception of the only thing you may want to do is just reroll some stats, if you even want to. The stats are insignificant. However, if you have the gold and the reroll tokens, by all means, reroll some stats to your favorite stats. Drago, of course, can be purchased right over here at the Treasure Pirate. Pirate, not Pilot, Omni. for 7,500 Defender medals. This right here is the best pet you can purchase. So if you're looking to spend your Defender medals on a pet and you don't have a Dragolich yet, you really, really want one, I assure you. Now moving on with pets, Poisonous Tips is a very strong ability. Poisonous Tips, of course, can roll on any Earth pet, and that's going to give you a nice little buff and allow you to really spray out some damage there. You saw I think there was a 7 mil and then several 5. There's a 6.7 mil right at the end. Poisonous Tips will definitely get the job done. And Sandstorm. Now Sandstorm is not going to hit as hard as Poisonous Tips, but it does have a lower cooldown, plus it gives you that speed boost that allows you to get all over the map wherever you want to go very, very quickly. Now, as I mentioned, my preference personally is Cyclone. I had no problem dropping the gems on that pet, as not only does it look fantastic, but it's got a really, really awesome ability as well. So hopefully this helped answer some questions about how to build your EV2. There will be another EV2 Spotlight coming really soon, and that's going to be all about the Proton Charge. Now, of course, the Proton Charge is not viable in-game. And I don't want to say it's not viable, however, it is much more difficult to use because in the endgame state right now, you cannot stay still for that long. And of course, Proton Charge is going to plant you where you can't move. In Chaos 7, or really in Chaos 5 and above, you could have a real hard time surviving using the Proton Charge. And the Charge Shot build is, without a doubt, the obvious choice on what to take. So that will do it for now. Thank you for watching. Click that like button and please subscribe, and I will be back soon with much more DD2. We'll see ya.